Hello, everybody. Welcome. I just want to go ahead and before I begin testing my audio, if everybody can hear me, if I can see some thumbs up in the chats, if you can hear me. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all letting me know, and that way I can go ahead and start out my presentation on the right track. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat as well. Let us know your name, the school you're representing, and your grade level. My name is Yesenia Resendes. I'm from Dodines Elementary, and today our presentation will be on Common Lit. I am a fourth grade bilingual teacher, and Common Lit will tailor to grade levels 3rd all the way to 12th grade. So if I have any middle school teachers and high school teachers, this presentation is also great for you. So I'm going to go ahead and begin my presentation on Common Lit. I do not have a chat moderator, but I do have my chat open on another device. So as soon as I can get around to any questions that you all might have, I will go ahead and answer them as soon as possible. And I hope you enjoy this presentation. At the end, we will be collaborating with a Jamboard and a Kahoot game. So if you have a second device or if you're able to split your screen on your device, that would be preferred. That way you're able to follow in with the presentation and also be a part of the extra activities that I have for you all today. So for those of you that are just joining, I'll go ahead and reintroduce myself. And I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I hope you all had a wonderful lunch. And my name is Yesenia Resendes. I'm from Dodines Elementary. I will be presenting on Common Lit. I am a fourth grade teacher. And I do want to go ahead and reiterate again that Common Lit will be for grade levels 3rd all the way to 12th grade. So if you're working if you're a middle school teacher or you're a high school teacher, this is also a perfect presentation for you to view so that you can utilize some of these resources in your classroom. So let's go ahead and begin the presentation. Thank you everybody for joining us. So Common Lit, you might be asking, okay, what is Common Lit? So Common Lit, if you haven't used it before, oh, sorry, let me go back. If you haven't used it before, it's a free reading and writing curriculum website for 3rd through 12th grade, as I mentioned, and it targets STAAR 2.0 and the content standards. So it's basically going to cover everything that you need for the new redesign of our STAAR test. And I hope you really enjoy it and that it's something you can use in your classroom. Let's continue. So what is Common Lit? Common Lit is a comprehensive literacy program with thousands of reading lessons, a full-year ELA curriculum, benchmark assessments, and standards-based data for teachers. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what Common Lit looks like. So when you go ahead and access the Common Lit website, you're going to go ahead and see this as your homepage. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to go into giving you all some time to sign up because it is a free resource. So I know for me, anything that can be free is great, right? So I'm going to give you all some time in a bit to sign up. And let's continue. So before I begin my presentation, I wanted to give you all some research-based information on what Common Lit is and how it helps us bridge the gaps in our education system. So based on research and data, students who complete more Common Lit assignments experience greater gains in reading performance. Increased Common Lit usage is associated with more students at proficient or mastery level on state assessments, and students at Title I low-income schools experience greater gains on Common Lit. And let's go ahead and watch this video from the creator and founder of Common Lit.
My first job was teaching 7th grade reading at a high poverty school in rural Mississippi. I walked into this classroom on day 1 with no resources, not even books. And I spent the next 2 years scrambling to build a curriculum for students that, in a single classroom, had reading aptitudes spanning 7 different grade levels. I worked so hard because I knew what was at stake. How well a kid reads in 8th grade is one of the single best predictors we have of life outcomes. In some states, they can use middle school reading scores to predict how many jail cells to build. I'm Michelle Brown, and I started Common Lit because I believe that we can change the game for students in low-income schools by giving teachers the tools they need. Common Lit is a free online reading program that helps students develop advanced reading and writing skills. Today, we're serving over 600,000, nearly 600,000 registered users and gaining 40,000 new registrations every week. We're specifically focused on reaching students in low-income schools that are left behind in our current ed tech market. Here's why so many teachers are signing up. At commonlit.org, teachers can choose from a leveled library of over 700 engaging articles, all prepared by master teachers. Our analytics tools help teachers track student progress in reading and identify which students need personalized support. Our competitive advantage is that we get free or drastically reduced price content from our content partners, some of the best publishers and authors, because we are a nonprofit. And this is why we are delivering Common Lit 100% free for teachers forever. Teachers can tell the difference in the quality of our tool. And this is why we are spreading rapidly and organically, primarily through teacher-to-teacher word of mouth and a bootstrap marketing budget. These are the 22,000 schools. This is a map of the 22,000 schools across the US where we have at least one registered teacher user. Let me get to that slide again. Crazy, right? In Mississippi, where I used to teach, 586 schools rely on Common Lit. And I want to tell you about one of those dots. In DeSoto County School District in Mississippi, 9 schools rely on Common Lit, and I actually reached out to a teacher, Mrs. Green, recently to ask her how it was going. She wrote me an effusive email. It's 4 paragraphs long. I will not read it to you. But suffice it to say that in Mrs. Green's class, students are using Common Lit every day to help students work through complex informational texts, to evaluate news sources, to read the poetry of Robert Frost, and we're noticing a statistically significant correlation between frequency of use of our reading program and gains in reading over time on grade level assessments. That's just one classroom. If we keep growing at this rate, we will likely hit our 1 millionth registered user faster than Facebook did. And we can deliver Common Lit for 25 cents per kid. That is the cost of buying each kid a pencil. Our idea is a testament to the power of technology with a nonprofit business model to bring a solution to scale rapidly to a vulnerable population. Common Lit is the tool I wish I had when I was a teacher in that classroom in Mississippi. It delivers the kind of learning experiences I would want for my own child. I sincerely believe that if everyone in this room put our heads together, we can make this system more equitable. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give you all some time to sign up so that you're able to navigate with me throughout the presentation. I know I had a question right now in the chat that asked if we're able to assign readings from it. And yes, so once you sign up, you're going to see that you have over 4,000 free texts and readings that come with lessons, questions, and everything embedded for you to use in the classroom. So I want to go ahead and give you all some time to sign up. So when you all get to the Common Lit website, which I'll go ahead and post right now in the chat, you're going to click the sign up button or the get started for free button. It's going to ask you to type the type of school, so public school or a private school. It gives you a couple of options, right? And it's going to ask you for your zip code. And with your zip code, it'll generate the schools that are in your area. Select yours and then go ahead and fill in the information so you can create your account. It's just going to ask you for your school email, your first name, your last name, and a couple of information on there. And real quick, you can create your account. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link right now in the chat for you all. That way you all can go ahead and sign up so you can navigate with me today. Give me just a quick minute. All right, if you go ahead and click on that link that I just posted on the chat, you'll be able to access Common Lit, and you'll go ahead and follow the steps that are on my screen so that you're able to sign up and see what the program is about. I'll go ahead and start a little bit of timer as we wait. All right, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for signing up. Let's go ahead and continue so I can give you all a little bit more of what Common Lit has for you all. So as we continue, so what does Common Lit have to offer? So we have Common Lit allows you to use free texts aligned to the TEKS standards, genres, content types, and lexile levels. Common Lit also offers target lessons that allow you to direct teach and focus in on main skills with one lesson. And Common Lit allows you to pair text to make cross-curricular connections. So once you're on the webpage of Common Lit, if you notice when you get to the Common Lit website, you can go to explore the library. And once you're exploring the library, it gives you the screen that you just saw on my presentation, which has the texts, it has the target lessons, it has collections of passages that are curated by popular topics, themes, or novels. So I know that if you're probably reading a popular chapter book or popular novel, Common Lit might have it. So it's a good way to go in there and check for it. And it also has some supplemental units. That way you can extend your teaching into 1 to 2 weeks. So it all depends on how you're wanting to teach your reading passages, right? Do you want to extend them? Do you want something shorter for just that day or for everyday lessons? You have something for you here at Common Lit. So as you get here, you'd be able to explore by the different things that they have for you. And then I'm going to continue on to my next part, which is, well, how do I search the Common Lit library, right? So Common Lit has the ability for you to search through grade level. So I was mentioning earlier, I am a fourth grade teacher, but this program actually extends all the way from third grade to 12th grade. So if you're a middle school or a high school teacher joining me today, this program would be perfect for you as well. So go ahead and share this out to your colleagues at the very end of my session. I know that it'll be a great tool for them. So you can search by grade level, you can search by the genre, and there is fiction and nonfiction passages that you can look for. It's also curated with the standards and the TEKS. So if you notice here, you can teach the kids how to find evidence through the target lessons. You can teach them how to find the central idea. You can focus in on vocabulary and language. You can focus in on the structure, point of view, comparing text, and it just has all the standards and TEKS that reading has for us to teach the kids. Common Lit has them. And then you can also search by literary devices. So depending on what you're teaching, if you're teaching characterization, maybe you're teaching figurative language, imagery, maybe you're teaching point of view, you can also narrow it down to give you passages that focus in on that type of literary device that you're teaching that day or that week. You can also search it up by themes. And so what I really liked about searching it up by themes is, since PSJA is now starting with our new initiative with the sustainability goals, we'll be able to search the sustainability goal themes. We could probably find them under this tab right here and tie in those reading passages to our sustainability goals, which you'll be able to see that I did in a few minutes. You can also search by the Lexile levels. So if your students are maybe reading at a certain level, you can also have them, you can select a passage that tailors to their reading level at that moment. And also individual. Common Lit allows you to assign individual assignments. So let's say you have like your special population, or you have your struggling readers and they need a Lexile range that's smaller, or a little bit more under the grade level. You can give them passages at their level. So that's something that I really liked about Common Lit. And of course, PSJ being a biliteracy program, we do have English and Spanish texts. So,
intensify or
and I
bring out
think
their
I might have someone who's not on mute. So give me just a quick minute.
working in groups. Then I tell them that they have to select one or two more, and of course,
Okay, I think we got it. All right. And so we have those passages in English and in Spanish. So if you're a bilingual teacher, right? Of course, we always want to target the both languages in the classroom, so you're able to select between English and Spanish texts. So let's continue. So something that I really enjoyed about Common Lit is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I know sometimes we're looking for passages or we're looking for stories to give the kids that are relative to them, that they'll enjoy, that they'll find interesting. And it feels like we have to create the entire lesson from scratch, right? Well, Common Lit gives you everything you need in one place. So with the target lessons, it comes with a media piece. It comes with a graphic organizer. It comes with the notes and the vocabulary that are most important to dissect from the passage that they're reading. It comes with guiding questions. I think this has to be one of my favorite parts of the program because it teaches the kids to pace themselves, to stop, and to analyze what they're reading in the paragraph.
We have a lot of issues with attendance. We have a lot of issues with losing kiddos to IDEA, to Vanguard, to all those.
I think someone is not on mute.
And
Give me a minute. Okay, I think it stopped. All right, so let's continue. So one of the cool things, as I was saying, was the guiding questions. What it does, it gives you the first question. If you notice here on this area where it looks blurred, so it doesn't allow the student to continue reading the passage until they've answered the guiding question that goes with that paragraph. So I think this is a good way to train the students. I know this isn't a feature that STAAR has, but if you train them, I know that you can teach them, you know what, you're going to stop at this paragraph, or you're going to stop at paragraph 1 and 2. You're going to stop and you're going to generate a question based on what you're reading, right? And it could be central idea, it could be an evidence question, and it kind of teaches them that not to read the entire passage, because if you read the entire passage at once, you're gonna more than likely forget the information you just read. So this is a good way to practice with your students to get them to pace themselves. And of course, it comes with discussion questions, and that has to be another one of my favorite parts of the Common Lit program, that I know that we have been looking for resources when it comes to those ECR questions and those SCR questions for STAAR Point 2.0, and Common Lit has them. Common Lit will give them a open-ended response question that's tailored to the text, and it gives them the text box to go ahead and type it in and submit. So I kind of want to show you what this target lesson looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the one that I have on my screen. And so the target lesson that I chose right here is a 5th grade passage. It's called Destination Endangered Species. And so I really like this passage because we can go back and tie it into our sustainability goal number 14, which is life below water. And so we know that in order to take care of the life below water, right, we need to keep our oceans and our climate taken care of, right? So this would be a good way to kind of introduce that sustainability goal to our students through this reading passage. And so if you're exploring with me, if you're navigating with me right now, you can go ahead and actually search up the title on the library, so you can also navigate this with me, or you can go ahead and just watch as well. So one of the things I wanted to show you on the passage is that the students have the annotation tool, which I think is great because that's a feature that STAAR has. They can annotate the text. So if you notice, I can go, oh, actually, let me log in because I'm not signed in. So I can show you how the annotation tool works. Okay, there we go. So with the annotation tool, I can go in here and select the text that I want to highlight. And it gives them colors, which I think kids love, right? Kids like to do things with color. So they can go ahead and highlight important information through the text in color, right? So this is one tool that Common has that mirrors STAAR 2.0. Another thing that it has the read aloud. So this is perfect for your students who might need that content and language support or have those supports, right? So if I go ahead and press on the little speaker buttons on the side, it'll begin reading it for me.
How do you spend your summers? Lazing on the couch? Visiting family? Sun-soaked days at the pool? A family trip? Russell Lehman spent his childhood summers on rather unconventional family vacations.
And so this is a good way for your students to also practice, right? Using those STAR related tools that they are going to have on their online testing. So besides the read aloud and the annotation tool, it also allows them to change the font size. So if you have your students who just need a larger font to read, right? They might use glasses or they just might want to read this in a larger text. You can change your text from small to medium to large and even extra large. So I thought these were some pretty cool features. And so to continue the presentation, I'm going to go ahead and also show you the what it has that compares to STAAR 2.0. So the Common Lit has STAAR aligned multiple choice questions. So if you noticed here, the central idea with the targets here, the first question is, what is the main idea of the article? So if we go back to recent STAAR released, we notice that this is a question that is asked. If you go to question number 2, it says, what does the phrase, he had basketball in his blood, in paragraph 10, show about Steph Curry? And so I generate these from another passage that I'll go ahead and show you right now. And so if you notice this one teaches the kids about figurative language. There's organizational patterns. How does the author introduce the text in paragraphs 1 through 9? It has vocabulary. As it is used in paragraph 16, the word spark shows that's Steph Curry. And then it gives them the answers. And then supporting details, which line from the text shows that Steph Curry was confident. So if we go ahead and look at these questions, they mirror a lot how the questions on STAAR are given to the students. So if I go back and I look at all the different things that Common Lit has to offer with the media pieces, the graphic organizers, the notes, the vocabulary, the guiding questions, the discussion questions, it's basically everything that you need all in one place, and it allows you to teach the reading lesson without having to move anywhere else. And it's super student friendly so that where your kids can log in, they're going to just like get the hang of it real quick. I used it with my students last year and they loved it. And I just want to point out that I think one of my favorite things about Common Lit was that I feel as our generation changes and evolves, right? I feel that sometimes it's a little difficult to engage them in reading. But when the passages are relative to them and when the passages are interesting to them, they get super excited about reading. And so Common Lit has those type of passages. So if you notice these questions right here, they're talking about Steph Curry. And well, Steph Curry is a popular basketball player. So if your kids are into basketball, right, they're going to get this passage and they're going to be flying with it. They're going to want to answer every question. They're going to want to read about it because it's someone that they enjoy reading about, right? And so I think that's what I really loved about this program, that information the information that's given to them, the texts that are given to them are relative to the students, and they do enjoy reading about them and answering the questions for it. And then let's get to, I think, one of the coolest parts that I think we all need, especially with the new redesign. We need to see how to give the students ECR and SCR questions. So if you notice, these are all ECR and SCR questions that were derived from that Steph Curry text that I was speaking to you all about. And if you notice, they mirror a lot of what the students need to answer. So for example, number 1, it says, in the context of the text, how did Steph Curry become a star in basketball? What do you think made Steph succeed? What do you think was Steph's biggest achievement and why? So this allows the students to build many body paragraphs answering the question and as well as providing evidence. So, and this is just one lesson. This is what I'm trying to show you guys. Like, it's just one lesson, and look at all the ECR and SCR questions that they're giving the kids in just one lesson. Like, you can either practice them all or choose one that you really like and have the kids dive into their writing. And so if you notice, number 4, Steph Curry had big dreams for himself as a young athlete. What is the dream that you hope to succeed in making true one day? What can you learn from Curry's experiences that can help you accomplish this? So not only are their students just answering an open-ended question, no, they're answering questions that make them think critically. It allows the students to have to dive into the text. Like, they actually have to go back into their story that they were reading and provide that evidence and actually dissect the story little by little so that they can answer. And I think that's what I really loved about the program. And if you notice, how can we tie in Steph Curry's passage? Well, we know that if you play sports, right, you're going to have good health and you're going to have well-being. And we know that by providing this program to the students, we're giving them a quality education. So here's how you can tie in the sustainability goals with passages from Common Lit. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And so another neat feature that I totally love, because I know that we are teachers and we're constantly looking for ways to make it work for us in the most efficient way. So after you sign up, you're actually able to link your school and Google Classroom to Common Lit. So any texts or target lessons that you select can be directly assigned to your Google Classroom so students can access them and the grades can be given. So you don't even have, the kids don't even have to go to the Common Lit website to get in there. All you do is you find your passage. So if, for example, I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. This one, I assigned it to my Google Classroom last year. All I did was I assigned the passage and it went straight to their Google Classroom. The kids click on the link, they sign in with Google, and it's there for them to use. So after that, once you grade their assignments, it actually allows you to export the scores to Google Classroom. So I think that is a really neat feature, especially since we're always needing to input grades, right? So if you're exporting your scores to Google Classroom, you'll be able to have all your reading grades there and you just plug them into TAC, right? So I thought this was another really neat feature that Common Lit had to offer. This is the little Steph Curry story that I was talking about earlier. It's really neat, right? And so this is what it'll look like. The student assignment preview. You would click the assign button in yellow, and then it will ask you if you want to assign it to your class that you linked or to your individual students. And then you'll be able to assign what you want to assign to them and put your start date and your due date as you would like. All right, and as I was talking to you all earlier, it has the STAAR test align tool features. It does have the read aloud, it does have the annotation tool, and it does allow you to change the font size. All right, and let's get to the best part, right? What all of our administrators want to see, right? Our administrators want to see if we're giving our kids feedback and if it correlates with data, right? Do we have data to show that our kids are improving in reading, right? And so this is the best part. So if you go to Common Lit, once you give your kids your assignment and your kids complete their assignment, Common Lit grades the multiple choice questions for you. So I think that's really cool, right? We don't have to go in there and grade them, but Common Lit will. So Common Lit will go ahead and grade the multiple choice questions for you, and it will actually give you a percentage of students who got the question right. So if you notice over here in my little pie chart, right, on my little pie chart, it shows here that 89% of these students got the question about theme correctly. So that means they understood the message of the story, right? And so that's good. That way that you can say, you know what, I don't need to focus on theme. The kids are getting it. Let me see what are the questions that my kids need the most help in. And it'll show you that. So it'll have that data for you. Another thing that it'll show you your class average. It'll also show you how many incomplete assignments you have. It'll also give you the percentage of how they're doing based on the questions and your breakdown of your scores, right? It'll also show you their individual averages. So it'll show you their names for the presentation. I went and blurred out, right, for the privacy of students. But for on your end, it'll show you the students' names. And if you notice, it'll tell you like this student, right? They got an 80, or I'm sorry, they got a 75, and they got question 1 wrong, but they got question 2 and question 3 correctly, and they got a 4 in the writing component. So that means you just have to go back and tell the student, hey, I want you to go back and check number 1. What could have been your better answer, right? And so you'll be able to see what your students need individually and also as a whole. And then another really neat feature is that when you're grading your short answer responses or your ECRs, it gives you an exemplary response. So I know sometimes we're thinking, okay, how do I grade the student's writing if I don't have anything to base it off of, right? Well, Common Lit gives you an exemplary response of how they should have answered the question, and then you would just align it, right, to what the students wrote, and then you can give them their score. And so when you're scoring, it'll give you this little box down here, and it'll give you the option to give them either a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4 on their writing, and it'll also give you the opportunity to give them feedback. So if you're a online teacher, or I would maybe even say middle school or high school, and you want to be giving your kids feedback through Google Classroom and letting them know what they need to fix in their writing, you can give them the feedback straight from your computer, and they'll have it there so that they can refer back to and fix their responses to make them better. So I thought this was another neat feature that Common Lit has for us. This is a great way to show your admin, right? Look, the kids are improving in this area and they actually need more help in this area, right? And you'll have that data to back it up and prove it. And then the last thing that I want to go ahead and cover with you all is how it ties into the sustainability development goals that we're going to be targeting as our new initiative um, at PSJA. So if we notice, I went ahead here, I put a couple of screenshots of a story called $2. So the story $2 actually is a fiction story, but it has the background of the Great Depression. And so if we read about the Great Depression, we know that that was a time in history where a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people were suffering economically and were not doing so well. So the story actually talks about a family that helps out another family during the Great Depression. And they help out the family by giving them food and by making sure that their rent is paid so that they have a roof over their head. And so the whole story revolves around making sure that we take care of our community, right? And so this brings me to tie it into the sustainability goal number 1, no poverty and 0 hunger. So if we want to teach kids how can we help, this was a great story to tell them, well, in order for us to be a part of the sustainability movement, we must do our part. How can we do our part? Well, we can help our community. The next time you see that somebody doesn't have enough, or or donate, right? Or donate to our food banks, or donate to a friend in need, right? And so if you go through Common Lit, I think what was really nice is that if you go to the related media tab, when you get to the story that you want to select, on the related media tab, it actually gives you videos that you can show your kids as a background knowledge of what is happening in the story. And it also gives you paired texts. It gives you text that you can pair to the current text that you're reading that matches the theme. And so I think this is a wonderful way to tie in those sustainability goals with passages that are interesting and relative to our students. And so I'm almost done with my presentation, and I want to thank you all for joining me and for giving me your time and your attention. Today, I really hope that this is something that you all can utilize in your classrooms, whether it be as a supplemental aid or something that's just you regularly use on the daily. I hope it's something, I know it was amazing for me, and I'm going to continue to use it this year. Um, so I want you all to go ahead and um, go to the Jamboard link, which I'll go ahead and post right now. On there, if you go into the Jamboard link, if everybody can go ahead and give me some of the names of your favorite texts that you like from the Common Lit as you navigate it. So let me go ahead and just drop that link, and that way you all can kind of collaborate in here and tell each other some of those texts that you really enjoyed seeing on Common Lit today. So let me go ahead and just post them on the chat real quick for you all. And I'll also go ahead and drop the Canva link. I'll go ahead and drop the Canva link for you all today on there so that you can use this as a resource to share out to your teachers who might not have made it today. I think it's a vital presentation that'll give them like all the links and stuff that they can utilize so that they can navigate it themselves. So here's the Jamboard link. And if you all can just type in some of your favorite text that you saw today. I know some of my favorite ones was the Steph Curry one. I thought that was cool. I might even start with that one this year just because I know that the kids like anything that has to do with sports. So that was one of my favorite texts to see on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and post my sticky note on there. And that was my favorite text. The Steph Curry one, right? And then I will use this, I would use Common Lit to target the sustainability goals and get my students excited about reading, right? That's going to be my little blurb for Common Lit today. Oh, I love that one. The names and the nombres. I love that one. That one was really good. I used it last year as well. Do I have any questions right now? I will have a little piece of my session in a minute to answer any questions that you might have, but I saw a little hand go up. So I think there was even, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ms. Yesenia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, quick question, just going back, I think I missed it. When you were going over how to access the data when they would do their assignments,
Yes.
I saw all the features, but where you would just click on the assignment and then it would provide the data?
Yes,
Like once
look, let
it's
me go
completed?
ahead. Let me share my screen for you so you can see that. Of course, you would have to assign it first so you could see it on your end. So let me show you this part. Am I showing my screen? Yes, right. Okay. So after you assign it to your kids, you would go to assignments on your teacher dashboard. So if you go to dashboard, you would see the assignment dashboard, and then you can go to the grading page. And on the grading page, it'll begin showing you the data for your multiple choice. So if you click on each of the questions, it'll show you the different pie. It'll also show you the students' responses that they gave you. And then if you go to the assignment report, that's where you'll get all of your data that I had on screenshots. So here's the class average, the score breakdown. It even tells you who your highest scores were and your lowest scores. It gives you how many times they attempted the guiding questions. It gives you the data that I showed earlier, and all of that. And then I think there, I want to say, can I show? So I can't show it on this one because I already graded all of these. I kind of wanted to show you how it looks like when you grade their ECRs. Let me see if I can find another story that I did with them that I didn't finish grading. Yeah, look like this one. It says you have 4 student assignments to grade. So if I go to grading, so here, if you notice, I haven't graded this one. And so it gives me her response to the question along with the little exemplar. And if the exemplar more than likely matches her response, then you can give her a score. And so it'll tell you 1 is for like 25%, like if más o menos, right? They put something, right? And then 2, 50% correct. Well, half and half. They shared some information, but not to the expectations they needed to, right? 75%, they're almost there. And then 4, like they did it, right? They exceeded expectations. It matched what the exemplar said, right? And so if you go, you click on the little 4, and then you can type your student feedback, right? And then save and next, and it goes to the next one. And then you'll go.
Thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I hope I answered your question. All right, and so let me go back. I see a couple of responses here. Awesome. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. And if you have some time and you want to play a little Kahoot game, you're more than welcome to join me. I added a Kahoot for you all on what you know about Common Lit. So if you want to go ahead and join me, go to kahoot.it and join. And we can play a little game. So let me go ahead and load it. And I think I don't know if any of you all have seen some of these features on Kahoot, but the kids really like these. So I'll go ahead and give you all treasure trove, and we can play for 5 minutes if anybody wants to join. And if you have to go to another session, I completely understand. And I just want to thank you all for joining me today. And if you ever have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Find me on Teams, and you can go ahead and reach out to me if you have any questions on Common Lit, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. All right, let's play. So you're going to just tap the treasure as it flies by to get points. That says make sure to only collect the jewels. we have our winners. We have Teacher Cantu in third, JM in second, and first place, whoever you are, congratulations. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your technology conference, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.